Hey guys, welcome to the Shein files. This is a giant corporation that has been continuously getting in scandals non-stop. But not just any scandal. These scandals are quite legitimate because they're going around and they're stealing people's art, stealing people's designs, and it only seems to be getting significantly worse as time goes on. This is the first time that I'm actually covering corporations, and if you have any suggestions for the future for videos like this for my X-Files series in regards to gigantic companies being very, very corrupt and screwing people over, make sure to leave a comment down below. And as always, we're gonna go through some of their bigger controversies that Shein has been involved with directly and that there is pretty much undeniable evidence that they did this thing. As always, this channel does not run upon gossip or speculation, but rather things that are provable in nature. But before we begin, special thanks to our very brand new sponsor of the channel today. I'm so happy to be working with them. Welcome to Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. You can explore new skills and develop existing interests and get lost in creativity. Skillshare is all about education. They have a massive library of different classes to choose from. One class in particular that I took was indoor gardening, growing houseplants, veggies, and herbs. I know what you're thinking, Daniel, gardening? Yes, I actually have quite a large variety of houseplants that I'm taking care of right now, so this class was perfect for me. They have a lot more than just that though. Even more recently that I've been using was their Adobe Premiere editing classes, which I know I've gotten a lot of comments recently on, hey Daniel, your editing has improved with some, zooms and like motion tracking. It's actually because of Skillshare and watching these really professional, well-done tutorials. They have a very large, wide selection of classes that you can take and learn from qualified professionals. In a hobby or a passion, from either being a professional or a noob, doesn't really matter. They start you with the basics and you can go through everything. The first 1,000 subscribers to hit that link down below in the description box will get a 1-month free trial for Skillshare for yourself. So you can start exploring your creativity, but most of all, expanding your education. Support the channel, click the link. So there is a term called fast fashion. And essentially what that means is that a company comes along and they produce fashion clothes as fast and cheap as possible, because obviously the faster you get out a product, the more that you can sell, potentially the more money that you can make. Now, if we go over to the Shein website, you're gonna find out that a lot of these clothes are extremely cheap. I mean cheap, cheapity. Shein is everywhere. This company is continuously growing. It is a massive trend on TikTok for people to do clothes hauls, where they spend like 50 or 60 bucks and they drop all their clothes down on the ground and they go through all the clothes that they bought from Shein and they're really cheap. And look, like, I'm not a professional in the fashion industry. I don't know hardly anything about anything when it comes to clothes. I also realize that depending on where you live geographically, that you don't even have access to certain thrift stores. So sometimes buying clothes depending on where you live can be really hard. So Shein is a really popular site. And whether you buy from this site or not, I don't really care. It's not my business. There's actually a lot of influencers that work with Shein too. And maybe if there are some influencers that are watching this video, maybe they'll see this video and potentially not want to work with Shein due to their practices of theft. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through several different artists and designers' designs that have been stolen by Shein directly. And this is pretty much undeniable when you see these photos. This one girl in particular posted on Instagram saying, update, the listing has been taken down, but still boycott Shein. Hey, Shein official, care to explain? Been on hiatus for my mental health and because I needed to focus on all my energy on finishing my college thesis, but I'm thankful knowing this community still has my back. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I honestly don't know what to do because it's so common for big companies like this to just steal from us without caring pay price for their actions. I feel stepped on. I mean, take a look at these two photos, guys. Like, this is an absolute carbon copy. The bow ties, even the buttons, just the placement of the material. This is an absolute, they clearly took her design and then they sold it for dirt cheap. This was just in July of, I believe it was sometime last year. Now, as I show you more stuff that they've stolen, I'm thoroughly convinced that Shein has a team of people that literally look and seek out other people's designs, sees it, shows it to the team of people, and then they manufacture it. Without giving credit to the artist, without giving any sort of pay cut for somebody else's design, and then they pass it on as their own. And the crazy thing is, in this girl's case, they took her design down. But this hasn't been the case with a lot of other people's designs that they've stolen. Here's another one from Moonshane. Thanks for stealing the version of my Aurora top. Just add another star for this wonderful company. The first and second are screenshots of the top they're selling. The third following are the actual top they copied, down to the way Monique styled her photo of it. This post was also in July, so like they stole 2 different designs in July, put it on their website. Again, this is a carbon copy theft. The material's the same, the design's the same, there's no actual variation in the material, it is identical to her design. The month of July was very interesting for Shein. July, the month of theft. Shein official has stolen my design. I've spent more than 20 hours designing and knitting this piece, and I was so proud of it. It breaks my heart to see how they just copied it and disrespected me and my work. I've seen this happen to many other small creators, and I feel so sad. Shein official has really no shame. We are small creators who try to make the living, and this is what happens. Not to mention the fact that they are exploiting their workers and are extremely harmful to the environment with fast fashion. This is undeniable. This is a carbon copy. However, I have to say the original artist's neck piece around her neck looks a lot better because, you know, this is hand knitted, and I don't know how the product is actually made, but you can just look at the neck piece and it's very, very, they're identical, but the actual original piece is way higher quality than that of Shein, which was either just manufactured by a machine or because, and I'm speaking off the cuff here, I don't know, I could be misspeaking, Shein is located, the main base is located in China. That said, there are a lot of, what this even girl said here, terrible working conditions in China. So I don't know if they're using actual manufacturing machines to get these designs to print out in a lesser quality, but if they're not doing that, then they probably have an army of people in which they're underpaying and essentially pushing into slave labor. If you don't know about the working conditions over in those countries, specifically how they treat employees to produce mass inventory of things. People have actually lost their lives, they developed health conditions because these larger corporations work the employees to absolute death. It's really scary, it's horrifying that corporations can treat us, the middlemen, the people who actually make their company what it is, like absolute garbage. But you know what? Employee treatment of people who work for a company, that's a whole nother video for a whole nother conversation. But I did want to bring that up is that Shein's located in China. Here is another piece that Shein stole from an artist. Hey Shein official, how about not stealing and selling my work without authorization and replying to my messages? By the way, you forgot to remove your watermark in the incredibly low-res print you are selling. Like, holy shit, dude. They don't even remove the watermark of the print that they're stealing. This is how, like, blatantly obvious that this is. They don't care. You know why they don't care? Because they're a corporation. They're located in a different country to where we can't really do anything. And they mass produce these things and sell it so cheap and make it a lesser quality product. Super fast fashion. So in the Twitter thread, Elora does eventually manage to get them to remove the art print. But regardless of whether they got it removed or not, it's still the fact that it's happening and continuously still happening. And this was just in December of 2020, which wasn't that long ago. How much more is there, you're probably asking? Well, we're not done yet. Let's keep going. Tonight, I feel crushed. Shein official has stolen my Amelia sweater design. I spent hours designing and brainstorming this design, and it takes days to crochet each sweater. It's quite disheartening to see my hard work reduced to a machine-made copy. If you like the green and pink colorway, here's a direct link to the shop. Now, I am going to link down below in the description all these artists that I've shown here that have had their stuff stolen. Down below in the description, if you expand it, their products, the original made products from the original artists are going to be linked down there. I think it was either this one or the next shirt was almost $300. The original design was $300. They're selling it, they created it, and they're selling it on their website for like less than $5. $5 versus $300. The price difference between that isn't just like half. That's unreal. I'm so over these major brands stealing from black designers. Shein official stole my sincerely designs to a T. They couldn't even change one thing. Now it's their highest selling items. They even stole the brand's aesthetic. Like, come on. I started designing last March and launched November 2020. Shein just dropped the style. This is June 2021. I work hard to design and make everything in LA just for them to mass produce in China. What the fuck, yo? Like, this shit makes me not even want to design. Shein doesn't care who it steals from, how they steal from, or how it affects the people who created the product. This company is criminal in nature. This is the other thing in this last tweet that you just saw, is that a lot of the items that they steal from these smaller artists, they usually become the #1 selling point on the front page of Shein. So like, imagine all this work you put into something, you post your product, you sell your product, and then this gigantic multi-million-dollar company comes along, takes your product, puts it on their front page, it becomes the #1 seller for $3 when your original design is selling for like $100. That's so horrible. The audacity of this shit company. But we're near the end of this. There's actually a lot more. I could sit here literally for an hour and just keep going through these examples of theft. This last example isn't necessarily theft. Rather, they need a new PR guy. Bullying and harassment are not tolerated here. Due to the safety of myself and others, comments have been turned off. Shein has issued a public apology. You can read the public apology on their feed. I know wholeheartedly that the symbol means something else in Hindu, Buddhism, but the Jewish community in the Western world is a symbol of deep oppression, hatred, and genocide. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, the swastikas are associated with luck and prosperity, and the symbol has been used across Eurasia for thousands of years. However, its adoption by the Nazi Party in 1920 has made the symbol irretrievably associated in much of the world with Nazism. Now, if you look at the text in the lower corner of the screen, it says metal swastika pendant necklace. Look, I'm not a history major, but I understand why people would be upset by this piece of jewelry. And all Shein would really have to do is to simply caption the bio of this product differently, and it may have, it still would have had a backlash, but it wouldn't have been as severe as they did. Because the problem here is you could have added the, a metal Buddhist pendant, or a metal Hinduism pendant. Because for those of you who don't know, historically, that symbol was not what it meant something else. And then Mr. Mustache Man, takes that symbol, twists it into the meaning something that is now, pretty much universally known as a horrible hate symbol. But if you really wanted to avoid the controversy and the backlash as large as it was, all you would have to do is just put Buddhism, Hinduism pendant, and it would make more sense. But you're literally advertising it as a metal swastika. A metal swastika. Okay, like, do you not see the problem there? Like, what? You're literally promoting a product that is a symbol that is used to commit horrendous atrocities. Just changing one word could have, been a completely different context. But this is so easily this is an unavoidable thing. This is what I'm saying. The person who's working for Shein needs to be smacked alongside the head or something, because, your PR team is dreadful. Now, Shein issued an apology, like every standard gigantic corporation does when they do something stupid. I don't really care, because quite frankly, Shein can fuck off. Please, if you're an influencer, don't work with them. Unfortunately, outside influences, the influences that TikTok and influencers have doing these big bag hauls, that's going to outweigh any sort of controversy that a company that really has. Because you know what? When you have influencers promoting a product, their promotion of that product is going to be far more influential than the outrage of theft and stealing from people. That's just the way it goes. It's the sad way that the internet operates. I really wish people would stop glamorizing and looking up to influencers so easily on this platform or social media overall. That includes me.